Hey there folks, got a new knife for you. Let me just let you guys take this in for a second. So when you see it initially, you're like, what is that, Mike? What is that? That looks like something from a Walt Disney movie. That was my initial impression too. So about a month ago, Nick turned me on to a new knife maker on Instagram. I can't tell you guys the value of Instagram. I can't stress it enough. So Nick told me, check out this knife maker. The knife maker is Edison Barajas, otherwise known as Sharknivco, or I'm going to screw this up, Edison, I apologize. He pronounces it a different way. Sharknivco. But most people pronounce it Sharknivco. The evolution of that name is the Shark Knife Company. So I started checking him out. I started following him, started following his works in progress, and he made this knife. This one is called the Fin. Edison is an avid diver, right? I talked to him today. He says he likes playing with sharks. That's one of his pleasures, playing with sharks, poking them with spears or whatever you call it, whatever you have down there. He's a diver just like Brian Dunn, so that was kind of neat, and it seems to be one of his passions. So he was inspired to make a knife. Now, Edison's fairly new at the business, and as you guys know, me, JR, Chris Weinstein, the boys, the Wieners and Steel crew, we like supporting the knife community, and we love discovering new knife makers. Edison has only been working on knives, making knives for about a year. Crazy. You're getting this guy from the beginning. If you're lucky enough to get on his books and order one of his knives, you're getting him from the beginning. And I am impressed. I've been following his work, and he seems to be just improving. All right, so what we have here is a flipper. Yes, it's a flipper. Not a traditional flipper. The flipper is up here on this, where it looks like a shark, right? It looks like a shark fin. That's the name of the knife again, the Fin. The handles are made of zirconium. Zirconium show side, zirconium lock side. So it's a Framelock, zirconium. Look how neat that pocket clip is. Reminiscent of Neil Blackwood, right? Shaped like a shark. Alright. So you guys ready for this? Here's how you deploy this. Your flipper is deployed by your thumb. Will you check this thing out? Somebody has some grinding skills. Let me just let you guys look at the work here. I'm gonna, me and the macros will get right in there for your close inspection. Edison is very humble. He's telling me, please keep in mind that I'm new at this, but I've taken a close look at this knife, and it is amazing. Look at this grind. He's calling this grind, actually, I think one of his followers on Instagram coined it. He's calling it the Inception grind. It's really a compound grind with a hollow grind on top. The main grind is a hollow, and then another hollow grind on top, and then a swedge with a harpoon style blade. How awesome is that? Anyway, let's get right into the grind. So it's a satin grind. Look how amazing that is. I know what you're saying. What color is that? What steel is that? Is that copper? Did he grind a blade out of copper? Well, the backspacers are copper. Check out the backspacer. Very nice. Look how thick that zirconium is. Beautiful work on the backspacer. So yeah, the blade steel, no, it's not copper. It's S30V steel. He oxidized it to get this color. So he used some science, and he oxidized it to match the color basically with the copper backspacer. This guy's wicked smart. Just take a look. The pivot has an inlay of copper also to match copper color blade, copper backspacer. But just look at the precision, the cutting, the hole, no gaps. I mean, now you're a macro, so you can really inspect how close the work is. It's precise. On the other side too. On this one, he put a little rock pattern on. Hopefully the camera shows that. You guys can see that. Let's see. There you go. See the rock pattern? Let me show you how that flips again. So I was actually kind of surprised, the zirconium. I've seen a couple of zirconium, some knives with zirconium in it as like an accessory, as a bolster, maybe as a pocket clip. The only other full zirconium knife I know that's got a lock bar, the lock is zirconium, and the show size zirconium is the one that Jeff Vandermeer made. But I haven't got to check that out. But look at the centering. This thing is precision. Thick stock of the S30V. So you can deploy it this way, and it pops like crazy. Or you can do it the traditional way. It works that way too. But it's a little awkward to flip it this way because you know, the flipper is a little far back. Actually, if you don't do it right, it won't go. So it's a little bit easier to flip it like this with the thumb. And he's got this down right. The detent is amazing. Now, I don't own this knife. Edison basically knew I've been following him. I've been asking him questions about the build, and he's also a Venus and Steel fan. Go figure. How lucky, how fortunate for me. So he shipped it to me. He wanted me to check it out. It's still a work in progress. There's still some refining he's got to do, but he wanted to, you know, show it to me right away. So, show you the detent. You see how strong? That's a strong detent. I don't even want to touch the satin because it's so shiny. Ruin it for the camera. But just check out this detent. Look how it just, I mean, a year. This man's been making knives for a year. This guy's been making knives for 10 years. They don't get as perfect as this. Look how strong that detent is. Amazing. Amazing. And not only is he a new knife maker, how hard is it to come up with a new knife design? Is this unique? Is this the most unique thing you've ever seen? I mean, he just knocked it out of the park with this one. Now, it's a smaller knife. It's got this thumb ramp, which accommodates your thumb perfect. Right? It fits the hand really well. Right into the meat of your palm. Like Lee says, Mike likes the meat in his palm. Shut up, Lee. But great. Nice sharpening choil there. So he thought of everything. So he's a fan of knife makers. So he's taken, I'm sure he's taken some inspiration from knife makers like Neil Blackwood with the clip. Yeah. I know I'm missing something. What else I want to talk about? Oh. So the lock bar, your question. You know, it's zirconium. Is that gonna withstand the steel and the zirconium? Because we know the zirconium can be a little bit brittle, right? I mean, it's rust resistant, right? But can it withstand, you know, hitting the blade, locking up, hitting the blade? So, what did Edison do? He inserted a titanium insert in there, and hopefully the camera can capture this. Let me move the light a little bit. Now inside you'll see there's a titanium insert that runs the length of the lock bar. You can see where it's cut out over there. Hopefully. Runs the length, and you can see it's he screwed it in. Future plans, he's going to be including the whole back rolling detent. He already got permission from Jake, so he'll be putting that in for his new knives. You can see there, he marked it. It's a prototype with his signature and the date. I asked him, I said, why, I'm just curious, why did you go with the titanium? He said he could have gone with a titanium or with a steel bar insert to meet up with the steel, but he was just, basically he was experimenting. He found that the titanium gives a little more flex, so he went with the titanium, but he can definitely do this in steel also, so that'll prevent it from moving. The steel on steel prevent, you know, the lock bar from moving down. But just amazing work. Just amazing work. Now here's something interesting I want to show you guys. So this is zirconium, right? Now zirconium, if you follow him on Instagram, you'll see the zirconium basically looks like regular steel. He has to basically torch it, flame it to get it to this color. But before it gets to this color, zirconium apparently goes to green and then into this matte gray. Hopefully you can see that, but you can see on the Zirc over here and maybe over here, you can see there's like a glimmer of green in there. Hopefully the camera shows that, right? Now, attention to detail. This zirconium handle is stonewash, but not regular stonewash. If you look at it, all right, it's like, okay, yeah, stonewash, but you know what? I see hints of copper in there. Hopefully you guys can see that. See, there's like a little copper in there. Guess what medium he used? What media he used? He threw some pennies in there to stonewash it. So he did a penny wash, like what Edison said. Again, he's thinking of matching it with the blade, with the backspacer, with the inlay. So in there you might see a little bit of stonewash with a little hint of copper. How neat is that? How neat is that? He's got like this reverse Anzo pattern that he went with. Pretty neat. Just really well designed. Really well designed. Now this zirconium is a little grippy, which is good. There's a little bit jimping here on the backspacer, jimping on the blade. And your fingers fall right into the grooves of this pattern. But it's pretty grippy to begin with. Just impressive. Impressive for a new knife maker. I mean, he's got it down perfect. Good detent, centering, unique, one of a kind. Also, it's not on washers. This is on GTC cage bearings. So it's a bearing system, which makes it fly out even sweeter. That's amazing. Look at that grind. That is sick. He wanted to show off his satin skills. He knows I'm a big satin fan, so he grinded it down to a satin. But how neat is that? He got that to that copper color. Amazing. Look at those grind lines. This is a new knife maker, folks. That is just really gorgeous. I'll put all his information below. Best way to get in contact with him is probably through his email. I'm probably going to bring this to the next Venus and Steel. Hopefully we'll do one soon. Edison, I apologize if I found this a little bit longer, a couple of weeks. But it's awesome. Just really amazing, amazing work. Do a little size comparison so you guys can see. Bring out my dodo. So it's about the same size as a dodo. So if you got a dodo, that's what you're working with. Dodo is actually a little longer. Pretty cool. Let me see. Did I forget to talk about anything? Let me just take a look at it again, because I know when I saw it on Instagram, I was like, is that the color? Is that really the color I'm seeing? And it is, folks. Hopefully the camera shows it. Just really well done. Very subtle. Now, he also makes this in titanium. I believe he can also make it in pretty much anything. G10, carbon fiber, whatever materials he can do. I think he's done a couple in titanium with the holes in it. So I think he'll accommodate any of your, requests. So again, Sharknivco, Edison Barajas. He's down in Florida. Pretty neat. I was just impressive. Feels really good in hand. Good design. Very nice gentleman too. Very easy to talk to. Very humble. A year, folks. I am impressed. I am impressed. All right, guys. Peace.